First of all, good morning, and thank you for being here. I'm pleased to join all of you to share this funeral mass for Mary. The family has asked me to say a few words, and I could just hear Mary say, "Not too many, Jim." I would like to speak this morning about two families that Mary loved. One family that loved her and formed her and instilled in her the values that she never lost. And another family that strengthened those values and added a deeper dimension to her life. But before it gets too complicated, let me tell you the first family story first. I met the Adams family for the first time in 1954. I just finished my military service in the Navy and had enrolled at Boston College. And it was there that I met Mary, a fellow English major and a friend for life. And so I spent many enjoyable evenings with his parents, Mary and Joe, and with Jay and Mary. I realized very quickly how special this family was. They were welcoming and loving, kind and generous, outspoken, honest, and really funny, and people of deep faith. So it's no surprise to anyone that Mary shared these values. And that's who she was. A simple, caring, kind person, and a person of great faith. I love the Adams family that cared for her, that formed her character, and loved her deeply. And now let me tell you a story about the second family that Mary loved. You may not know the whole story, but some of the lines will be familiar to you, as they were to Ernest Hemingway. In the year 1623, John Donne, a priest and a poet, and dean of St. Paul's Cathedral in London, was seriously ill. He thought he was dying. And he was lying in his bed alone. He heard the church bell toll announcing that someone had just died, which is the way it was in London in those days, and that's where the announcements came from. And as all of us would do, he said to himself, his first thought was, I wonder who died. And then he began to reflect on death and the church, and what meaning it had for him. And he thought, and he wrote later, the church is Catholic and universal. We are all connected by baptism to God and to each other through Christ. We are not alone in things. No man is an island, entire of itself. We are bound together, we are connected. We are all part of the body of Christ, which is his church. And if a small part of Europe is washed away, the whole continent is the less. And so he concludes his thoughts by saying, so never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for you. It tolls for all of us who are part of this great family of the church. And so the church was Mary's second family, forming her values and her character. We all have our own special and individual memories of Mary, but underlying all of them is a person who is kind and caring and loving I'd like to close these few remarks by reflecting on the work of one of my favorite poets, Emily Dickinson. As some of you know, she lived in Amherst in the middle of the 19th century, when travel was mainly by horse and carriage. Reflecting on her own busy life, Emily Dickinson wrote, "Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility." So Mary has put away her labor and her leisure too, and now she rests in the peace of God. We were blessed to have had her in our lives for so long a time. I'd like to share with you now a prayer written by John Henry Cobb Newman, an English theologian, scholar, and a saint. He was made a cardinal by Leo XIII in the 19th century, and Pope Francis just a few years ago canonized him. And I believe in a few days he will be named a doctor of the Church. And in the Church's 2,000 years, there are about 36 doctors. So he was a very special person. And his prayer is this: may the Lord support us all the day long, until the shadows lengthen and the evening comes, and the busy world is hushed, and the fever of life is over, and our work is done. Then may he, in his mercy, grant us a safe lodging, a holy rest, and peace